Oswald Rachel Maddow's channel, MSDNC. This time it's Katie Tur, whoever she is, claiming that the story that the Democrat... John, you have a whole list of outright lies they're telling the American people. Let's go through them.
Yeah, so the first one is that one. There is on-the-record evidence from the Ukraine embassy in April of this year. The Ukraine ambassador said on the record to me, yes, the Democratic National Committee contractor, Alexandra Chalupa, did ask my embassy to get dirt on Paul Manafort and to Donald Trump in hopes of creating a investigation in Congress in the fall of 2016 to embarrass Donald Trump. And she asked the embassy to try to arrange so that an investigative reporter working on dirt on Donald Trump could interview the president about Paul Manafort. That is a request of a foreign government to try to interfere in our election. So that story, Katie Tur's comments, not true. Not true at all.
What about the evidence Ukraine meddled in our election? They say, no, that didn't happen. Did that happen?
Yeah. It did. A Ukrainian court has ruled in December of last year that a senior law enforcement official and a parliamentary member intentionally leaked documents about Paul Manafort and Donald Trump in an effort to intervene in the U.S. election. That is an official ruling of a Ukrainian court.
Okay, what about the claim that Joe Biden forced the firing of Ukraine's chief prosecutor, Viktor Shokin? You're one of 5 people, now Rudy Giuliani, the 5th one tonight, that have interviewed Viktor Shokin. And, you know, that Shokin's office was no longer investigating Burisma Holding gas company that was paying Biden with no experience, that was no longer happening. That's a lie, too, isn't it?
It is. The lie is that at the time Biden forced Shokin's firing, there was no Ukrainian investigation of Hunter Biden's company, Burisma. Not true. I have the prosecutorial file. It was active. I have the emails of the Burisma team negotiating with the prosecutor's office the very day that Shokin was fired. I have Burisma's timeline acknowledging they didn't get the case settled until September 2016 and January 2017, 6 to 9 months after Biden did the firing. This one is a whopper. It is irrefutably wrong, and yet it keeps getting repeated by the media.
What about the lie that the mob and the media is saying there's no evidence that Joe Biden's firing of Shokin had anything to do with Burisma Holdings that's paying his son a fortune? A little dumb on the surface, but they're claiming, no, that's a conspiracy theory, John.
That's right. Yeah. Well, look at Mr. Shokin's affidavit. He states flatly, I was in the process of preparing to interview Hunter Biden when I was fired, and I was told I was fired because Joe Biden was unhappy I had not dropped the Burisma investigation. That's from a man who has firsthand knowledge. But there's more than just that. We know at the very moment Joe Biden was effectuating this firing of this prosecutor, Hunter Biden's legal team, the American lawyers working with Burisma, were at the doorstep of the new prosecutor, the prosecutor coming in as a replacement, saying, we need to meet with you. There was a dirty trick carried out. We got the other guy fired, but we want to make this case go away and solve this whole issue. If there was no connection between the two, why were they there making a contact the day that Joe Biden effectuated the firing? That story doesn't hold up to the facts.
Well, they say Joe Biden didn't do anything illegal or unethical. Why do I think they'd have a different view if it was Don Jr. and Donald Trump vice president, although he wouldn't like the demotion?
Let's just look at what the Federal Ethics Code says. It says all U.S. government employees must avoid not only a conflict of interest, but the appearance of a conflict of interest. And we now know from the reporting of the Washington Post that there were advisors inside Joe Biden's team that were warning the president that his conduct involving Ukraine and his son's involvement in this case created the appearance of a conflict of interest.
All right, John Solomon, we'll continue to bring you back. We have a lot more to break in this story coming up when we come back. By the way, Peter Schweitzer will explain the China issue and the Ukraine issue tomorrow. Greg Jarrett, Joe Concha on the media mob's incessant line.